We now know who the new owner of the Boston Celtics will be. According first to the Boston Globe, Adam Himmelsbach, and now also confirmed by a report from ESPN, the owner of the Celtics will be William Chisum. That is the new owner of the Celtics. $6.1 billion is the reported price tag and valuation of this transaction.
Wow.
Doesn't mean that he's shelling out $6.1 billion. It means the value of the team is $6.1, and he will pay on that price for the 20-ish% of the team that was for sale. That's still a lot of money.
It's a lot of jack. It's a lot of jack for and we now know, like, what was the percentages with Wick and his family and Pags and all that. Obviously, I think we were all rooting for Pags, right? Because you look at the long range projection here, and then, we'll get into some of the other stuff that Chris Mannix said. But that's the one thing you fear is, okay, new guy comes in, doesn't like what he sees, I'm going to change everything. Or I don't want to pay this much in taxes. I don't want to pay this much to a roster. I hope he's a big sports fan. I hope he loves the history of Boston. And I hope he keeps this thing together and running. Like, is this going to affect Stevens? Is this going to affect Mazzola? Does it affect other players? Like, team's in a really good spot right now. The organization's in a really good spot right now. And this could potentially shake some things up. That's what happens with ownership.
According to the story from the Globe, he is a Dartmouth grad. He grew up in Georgetown, Mass. Ooh. He is a longtime Celtics fan.
All right.
He is the managing director and co-founder of Symphony Technology Group. That's a California-based private equity firm. He previously co-founded the Valent Group. What do you got, McCone?
That part about being a Celtics fan, and there's some other stuff out there prior to this, him being a diehard Celtics fan, to me, is a huge win. We talked about sort of the final four or the final three and who was bidding here. And there were a couple where it was like, hey, this is another portfolio, like a Fenway Sports Group type situation, which, look, if you're a Celtics fan, that's kind of what you were hoping for, right? An actual diehard Celtics fan, someone from here that actually likes the team and not just adding this to the portfolio.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this at the Super Bowl, Jeff with Laurie, and his interest in buying a team, and like it devastated when he didn't get a chance to bid here with the Patriots, but he could get back in and get a piece of the Celtics or even get the Celtics. But that's what you hope for. And man, is he a bigger fan than Pags? Well, that's saying something if that's the case.
Yahoo Finance. He's a diehard Celtics fan with an encyclopedic knowledge of the team.
So you're telling me he has watched the Bill Simmons documentary many, many times on the Celtics. How many episodes are out so far?
I think it's 3.
He's watched all 3 of them 3 times each. Big Bob Cousy guy.
Huge Coos fan.
Right.
Big Tommy Heinsohn fan, too.
All right. He's a big Celtics fan. He's from here. I don't think he lives here anymore, but he's from here. And his desire to buy the team was not for the purpose of investment. He bought it because he loves the Celtics.
It's a nice hobby. $6.2 billion.
Well, it's good. It's a win.
We hope so. Like, or is this just?
But I'm
just
sorry.
information you throw out. Yeah, I'm interested.
Like,
I'm a lifelong fan.
Yeah, I feel like it's good. It's better than someone who doesn't care about the Celtics or doesn't care about the history of the team. But when it comes to how the team spends or what they invest, I don't know that that's a lock.
No, totally fair.
Well,
right?
that's a fear. That's the number one fear. Yeah.
The one thing.
Go ahead.
No, the one thing I'll say though, $6.1 billion does not make sense. By the way, if you're buying the Celtics, like huge valuation, I know that, but you're not making money off of the $6.1 billion. You don't have your own building, right? Like financially,
Wick even told you that too.
Sense.
Yeah,
so
we get paid in parades.
Is that the first sign here that all of a sudden this guy maybe is willing to spend because, like you said, this is just kind of a toy for him. This is kind of just a hobby, and you know what? We'll pour money into it, or at least for a little bit, while Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are still in their primes. As long as for the first few years he owns this thing and that's the way he operates, that's a win.
Yeah. I mean, you felt Wick's passion. Like, even though we didn't know what the percentages were, you feel it from Pags. Like, those guys genuinely love the team and they'd do anything for them. They'd expand payroll. They'd do anything. But, this could be a different time now.
Yeah, so if
does he want to build a building? Does he want his own building?
Again, the controlling stake that the family had was right around 20%, right? So let's just call it he put up $1.2 billion to buy it, to buy the controlling share of the team. $1.2 billion.
Jesus.
So he's investing a significant amount of money. I think Forbes has his valuation, his net worth at $7.5 billion.
Decent.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Not bad, right? So he's going to be okay if he decides to spend on the roster. He's
That second apron, he couldn't even afford
the good
it?
news is, McCone, he's going to be all right.
Yeah, is he going to kill the stock market like this last month?
He's still going to be able to make his mortgage payment and pay the electric every month, and he's going to be able to, swing a new car this year. He's going to be able to cover those things.
He doesn't drive.
He's still going to go on vacations. He's still going to have discretionary spending in his budget if he spends on the Celtics roster. Yes, all true.
That 1 week rental on the Cape, he'll still be able to afford that.
And here's what I would say. I don't think that Celtics fans should let any new owner off the hook when it comes to this team and its payroll and the aprons.
No,
you're right.
not when Tatum and Brown are in their primes.
Bingo.
Well, this is it. Like, this is your window.
Yeah.
Like you said, next 3 or 4 years, this is it. You never know how long it's going to take you to build it back or when this thing's going to split up. Or it's not going to be Tatum that leaves. Tatum's here for life. It's going to be Brown potentially.
Because you must admit, Celtics fans have been very loyal to the team in terms of showing up, buying season tickets, banging out the building even during those down years, right? I mean, the Celtics have never hurt for their fans during this ownership's run. Have they?
No. Not that I can recall.
I mean, the last time I can really remember the Celtics having some empty-looking crowds was 25 years ago. It's been a long time.
See, I don't remember that. I remember
it got thin in there for a while.
What year were the Antoine years?
Well, there was the second Antoine stint too, but like the late '90s, and then
there was a malaise. There was a malaise. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe more than 25. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I can tell you, it's been a long time since the Celtics were dealing with thin crowds. So they've been really loyal. They've supported the team. And so you can kind of bank on Celtics fans showing up and filling out the building.
Yeah, they're a different breed.
And buying the tickets, as expensive as tickets are now for everything. So I don't think you should let him off the hook because what? Because it's a losing proposition? No, in fact, this new owner knew that going in. You could be, I think, harder on the new guy than you were on the last owner.
Yeah.
You can. Not that anyone was hard. I'm just saying going forward, you can say, wait a minute, you're stripping this thing down because you don't want to pay the salaries of the guys on the team when you have a championship contender right now?
Yeah, I'm with you. You know that going in.
Don't let him off the hook.
No. You know going in. Like, you've got to spend. This is going to be like a Golden State thing. How much do you want to spend over? That's the question.
I'm curious to know. I'm just kind of curious how the transition goes now. How long does Wick get to hang on?
So Sportico has it that they've agreed to buy the team in the 2 stages, which was the stated goal originally, which to me is stunning, by the way. If you're going to shell out that kind of money and then agree that Wick's going to stick around here.
I mean, the thought could be that this is a person who's never run a team before, doesn't have any background in it, and doesn't have the people to put in place to run it. And is thinking, well, this can be the transition period of us getting in there, taking a look at everything they do, and figuring out how to run a basketball team because we've never done that.
Which, by the way, if you're a Celtics fan, you desperately want. You saw what happened in Dallas. This new owner comes in, and Cuban's out the door, and then you trade Luka Doncic because you think you're smarter than everybody.
Coach didn't even know.
Yes.
They trust me in it. Yeah.
Same thing in Phoenix. You just, you throw away your future because you bring Kevin Durant because you want to make a huge splash, and all of a sudden the franchise is off the rails now. So, if you're a Celtics fan, I kind of like that idea. Like you're talking about, hey, let me show you the ropes here for a couple of years before you kind of do this.
Yeah, especially since it's someone with no background in sports. Yeah. That I think is a good thing for Celtics, the franchise and for its fans.
Yeah, but if you're smart like that, and this guy's obviously brilliant, don't you got to understand that? Like you got to hire good people under you, and like Brad Stevens and how he's morphed into this role too.
We've seen brilliant, really smart business people buy teams and be terrible owners
because they think they're smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the thing that scares you. Yeah,
Daniel Snyder.
So I don't automatically grant anybody that.
But study the damn thing. You don't want Brad Stevens to eventually leave at some point because you're going to cut spending. And now, hey, my hands are tied. I don't want to be the GM here anymore. It feels like he's been given the blessing to do whatever he wants with that roster, and he's done a fantastic job. But that's what you fear breaking up.
You're disappointed that it's not Pags? Sorry, excuse me.
Because it was going to be a group. I mean, you love Pags from the personality and the lone person that he is, and how he's there every night and under the damn bucket. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk more about it. 617-779-0985. $6.1 billion, which is the biggest valuation of a sale price in North American sports history. No one's gone for this much money. I guess that number just keeps going up every time. Nothing is sold for them. How much were the Commanders? They were the last one, the last big one. They were $6.05 billion. To which I would ask, what's a better buy?
The Commanders.
It's the Commanders.
The NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't get in.
Yeah, Commanders got a better. Josh Harris got a better deal.